On September 4, 2024, tragedy struck the small town of Winder, Georgia, located about an hour outside of Atlanta. What began as an ordinary Wednesday morning at Apalachee High School quickly devolved into chaos and heartbreak when a 14-year-old student opened fire, leaving 2 students and 2 teachers dead and 9 others injured. The alleged shooter, Colt Gray, had only been a student at Apalachee High for 2 days. He was a transfer student who had attended the school for just part of the day on Tuesday, his first day. On that initial day, he had left class to visit the counselor's office, reportedly due to anxiety. No one could have predicted the horrific events that would unfold the very next morning. Around 10 a.m. on Wednesday, witnesses say Gray left his algebra class. He returned shortly after, but this time he was armed with an assault rifle, a weapon his father had reportedly given him as a Christmas gift the previous year. When Gray was unable to re-enter his math classroom, he allegedly proceeded to the classroom next door and opened fire. The victims of this senseless act of violence were 2 14-year-old students, Mason Scarehorn and Christian Angelo, and 2 teachers, Richard Aspinwall and Christina Uri. Mason, described as a boy who really enjoyed life and always had an upbeat attitude, was living with autism. His mother said he could be easily spooked, and in the chaos of the shooting, there were frantic searches for Mason as his family hoped he was hiding somewhere safe. Tragically, they soon learned he was one of the victims. Christian Angelo's sister remembered him as someone who was loved by so many. She wrote on a GoFundMe page set up for funeral expenses. His loss was so sudden and unexpected. We are truly heartbroken. He really didn't deserve this. The 2 teachers who lost their lives were both math instructors. Richard Aspinwall, 39, was also the high school football team's defense coordinator. A husband and father of 2 little girls, he was remembered as kind-hearted and hardworking. Christina Uri, 53, was an algebra teacher and native of Romania, who was active in the Romanian community and worked as a dance instructor. In a cruel twist of fate, Uri was celebrating her birthday on the day of the shooting. A friend told CNN that she had decided to bake a cake and bring pizza to her class to celebrate with her students. The attack lasted only minutes before 2 school resource officers confronted Gray. According to Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith, the young shooter surrendered, placing the gun on the ground. After being read his rights, Gray reportedly made a chilling statement: "I did it." In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, there was confusion and fear. Rumors circulated that there might be multiple shooters planning to target other schools in the area. These rumors proved to be unfounded, but they added to the panic and uncertainty of the day. Parents rushed to the school, desperately seeking information about their children's safety. Students inside the building sent heart-wrenching text messages to friends and family, expressing their fear and love in what they feared might be their final moments. One such exchange, posted on social media by Aaron Clark, showed a student writing, "School shooting right now. I'm scared, please. I'm not joking." The response came, "Where are you?" followed by the devastating reply, "Class, someone's dead." As the community reeled from the shock of the attack, investigators began the difficult task of piecing together what had happened and why. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation credited a brand new emergency alert system, installed just a week before the shooting, with saving lives. Several teachers were able to press buttons on badges to call for help and initiate a hard lockdown of the school. In the days following the shooting, more details emerged about the alleged shooter and his family background. Colt Gray had been living with his father, Colin Gray, while his mother, Marcy, lived with her parents hours away in Fitzgerald, Georgia. Both parents have had brushes with the law, painting a picture of a troubled home life for the young shooter. Marcy Gray has a criminal history dating back to 2007. In December 2023, around the same time, Colin Gray allegedly bought the AR-15 style rifle for his son. Marcy pleaded guilty to charges including using a license plate to conceal identity, damage to property, and trespassing. She was sentenced to 5 years in jail, but served only 46 days before being released on probation. As part of her release, she was required to participate in a family violence intervention program and abstain from drugs and alcohol. However, Marcy's legal troubles didn't end there. In April 2024, just months before the school shooting, she was charged in connection with a case of aggravated battery against a 73-year-old woman. She allegedly threw the woman against a wall, broke a mirror in her home, and tied the woman's hands and feet to prevent her from leaving. At the time of the school shooting, Marcy had not yet been indicted for this incident and was out on bond. Court records revealed that Marcy had previously claimed to be a victim of domestic abuse at the hands of her husband, Colin. She had been banned from contacting Colin Gray without a third-party intermediary present. A former neighbor who lived next to the Grays in Jefferson, Georgia, in 2022, told the New York Post that she would often hear screaming and yelling from the home. The neighbor claimed that sometimes Marcy would lock the children outside, and that she occasionally found Marcy passed out behind the wheel of her car in the driveway. The day after the shooting, on September 5th, 54-year-old Colin Gray was arrested in connection with the incident. He was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. The charges against Colin are directly related to his son's actions and his decision to allow Colt possess a weapon. Both father and son made their first court appearances on Friday, September 7th. Colt Gray appeared in person to hear the charges against him. 4 counts of felony murder. The judge carefully explained Colt's rights, including his right to a speedy and public trial, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on his own behalf. Due to his age, the judge clarified that while Colt faces serious charges, he is not eligible for the death penalty. Instead, the potential sentences include life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole. Colin Gray's court appearance was equally somber. He appeared emotional, rocking back and forth in his seat as the judge read the charges and potential penalties he faces. For the felony murder counts, Colin could face up to 30 years imprisonment, each count. The felony involuntary manslaughter charges carry a maximum penalty of 10 years each, and the cruelty to children counts also carry a maximum, 10 years each. In total, Colin Gray is facing a potential maximum sentence, 180 years imprisonment. Neither Colt nor Colin sought bond during their initial court appearances. Their respective attorneys indicated that they would file the appropriate motions for bond at a later date if necessary. Both are scheduled to return to court in December, preliminary hearing. As the legal process begins to unfold, the community of Winder is left to grapple with the aftermath of this tragedy. Vigils have been held, with students, teachers, and community members coming together to mourn the lives lost and support one another in their grief. GoFundMe pages have been set up for each of the victims' families, as well as for some of the surviving victims who face a long road to recovery. One of the surviving victims, Taylor Jones, was airlifted to Grady Memorial Hospital, a Level 1 trauma center in Atlanta. While her exact injuries were not disclosed, her family reported that she would need to undergo additional surgeries and physical therapy. Another survivor, math teacher David Phoenix, was shot when he went to open the classroom door after hearing loud banging sound. His daughter shared on Facebook, when David woke up from surgery, his first concern was for the well-being of others. Like Taylor, he will require additional surgeries but is expected to recover. As the community begins the long process of healing, questions remain about how this tragedy could have been prevented. It was revealed that in May 2023, over a year before the shooting, the FBI's Atlanta field office had received information about school shooting threats connected to Colt Gray. The threats, made on the online gaming platform Discord, were investigated by local law enforcement. However, due to the use of multiple IP addresses from all over the country, the exact source of the threat couldn't be identified, and neither Colt nor Colin Gray was detained at that time. The shooting at Apalachee High School has reignited debates about gun control, school safety, and mental health support for young people. It has also raised questions about parental responsibility and the importance of secure firearm storage in homes with children. As the case moves through the legal system, it is likely to be closely watched by those on all sides of these issues. In the wake of the tragedy, other school districts in North Georgia dealt with copycat threats. In Gainesville, a 14-year-old was arrested and charged with making a terroristic threat and disrupting the operation of a public school. In Athens, Clarke County, a 12-year-old was taken into custody for posting photos of guns found online and listing names of schools. These incidents highlight the ripple effect that school shootings can have, spreading fear and disruption far beyond the initial tragedy. As Winder and the surrounding communities continue to grapple with this devastating event, the focus remains on supporting the victims, their families, and all those affected by the shooting. Grief counselors have been made available to students, staff, and community members. The road to healing will be long, but as one local official stated, "We're heartbroken, but I'm proud of Barrow County. I'm proud of our superintendent. I'm proud of these teachers. I'm proud of these schools. I'm proud of where I live. We'll get past this." The tragedy at Apalachee High School serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing issue of gun violence in schools across the United States. It underscores the need for continued efforts to address the root causes of such violence, improve school safety measures, and provide better support for young people struggling with mental health issues. As the legal proceedings against Colt and Colin Gray move forward, many will be watching closely, hoping that some measure of justice and understanding can be found in the aftermath of this senseless act of violence.